Welcome back. As we noted earlier, the government shutdown is now taking its toll on air travel, with the government announcing potential cuts to air traffic at 40 major U.S. airports starting tomorrow. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the cuts will help alleviate the additional pressure placed on air traffic controllers who continue to work without pay during this shutdown.
There is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. The administrator is going to tell you that this is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
Joining me now is Nick Daniels, president of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. That's the union that represents air traffic controllers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with, I think, one of the big questions on everyone's mind. Is it safe to fly right now, particularly given these scaled back flights that we're going to see starting tomorrow?
It was safe to fly before the shutdown. It's safe to fly during the shutdown, but that's because of the hardworking men and women that are out there contending with this extremely unfair situation. We already had enough fragility in the system. We only have 10,800 certified controllers, where there should be 14,633. 3,800 controllers short. They work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, only 4 days off in a month, and now they've seen 37 days without pay, all because of a political disagreement that doesn't have anything to do with them.
Well, to that point, air traffic controllers are under an immense amount of stress and strain on an average day. Because this shutdown is now the longest in history, that's only been exacerbated. Does that not get worse with each passing day?
Yeah, it absolutely does. This is one of the most high-stress, high-consequence jobs in the world. These unsung heroes, American patriots, that still choose to go in and ensure and protect the American flying public every single day, but knowing that their mental health, the stress, the pressure, it leads to fatigue. We have to be 100% of the time. And when you're now worried about putting gas in your car, about paying for childcare, we saw a controller today that was training, get evicted out of their apartment, and other controllers that aren't making any pay are the ones rallying around him to ensure that he has a place to live.
It's horrifying to hear about that. Given the scenarios that you are describing, at what point does safety become a concern when you're talking about this extreme fatigue and just the human toll that it's taking on people?
Well, this is what you're seeing. We continuously the increased risk in a system. That is our job, is to ensure that risk doesn't get too high. If we put an aircraft in front of another aircraft, if it's faster, slower, we climb one or descend one, we're looking at the risk involved associated with that. Well, what we've been calling out for 37 days is the amount of risk this is going to bring in the system when air traffic controllers aren't focused on their primary duty. They're focused on, do I need to get a second job, or am I already working 6 days a week? I can't get a second job, or I can't even get a loan because so many of them are being given to federal employees. So as that risk grows, there's only one way you mitigate that. One, or I guess two ways: in the government shutdown and pay the people. The second one is reduce the capacity of the airspace, so that way there's less aircraft and we can ensure their safety.
So do you welcome this decision by Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy?
I think anything in the name of ensuring safety. If Secretary Duffy and Administrator Bedford believes that this is going to help increase safety, then absolutely. But they'll have to monitor it, see what impacts and effects that it's having. But we have to continue working together. We're in uncharted territory. It's not like there's a playbook for not getting paid for 37 days. Real people with real lives having issues, and then saying, run the busiest airspace in the entire world.
I want to play you a little bit more of what Sean Duffy had to say. Get your reaction on the other side.
If you bring us to a week from today, Democrats, you will see mass chaos, you will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers.
Do you agree with that assessment?
I've done this job for 27 years, 5 years in the United States Marine Corps, the rest with the FAA. If we get into the travel season and air traffic controllers still haven't been paid, the other aviation safety professionals, our technicians, we don't know the amount of problems that it's going to bring. There's only so long people can last, and I can promise you this, every American out there knows if you don't pay people, Problems are only going to grow. They're never going to get better.
Yeah. And of course, some people have already resigned. Do you think those resignations are temporary out of frustration, or is it possible that many of them will, in fact, be permanent, that some people are walking away from this job for good?
Right. Air traffic controllers are going through all the range of motion. Some want to fight, scream, shout. They're upset. They don't know where to be upset at. Some are hopeless, seeing the headline every day of there's no end in sight. But with the ones who are resigning said this was the final straw. They're done with this career. They're done with this profession. They're going to move on to something else. And that is just taking us backwards. Something Secretary Duffy and I were already working on was a way to supercharge the hiring of air traffic controllers, not a way to take people away from this amazing profession.
Well, taking it a step further, could it actually dissuade future potential air traffic controllers from signing up for that job?
Not only could it, it already has.
Yeah.
Air traffic controllers at Oklahoma City that are just learning before they get assigned to a facility to become a fully certified air traffic controller. They're hanging up their hat too. They've started to resign as well. And I can promise you, my son, he's 20, he's a young pilot, and he's talking about, Dad, what's this going to do to the aviation industry? I can tell you that it's not getting better, and every day it continues, it's going to get worse, and it's going to take us months to come out of it.
Well, lawmakers may stay in Washington this weekend to try to hash out a deal. What's your message to them if you could look them in the face and talk to them directly? What would you say to them? 4
words. I've said them for 37 days. End the shutdown now. There is no way that the American air traffic controller, these patriots, should go and be a part and shoved and thrust in the middle of a political discussion that has nothing to do with them. They do not need to be the rope in this tug-of-war game. They are not a political pawn. These government workers, these federal workers, need to get paid for the amazing work that they do.
All right, Nick Daniels, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We really, really appreciate it and your perspective. Coming up next.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.